Okay, feedback. Um, okay, so after getting the teacher's feedback and stuff like that, we redid the stuff and added the information about the community
Hmm.
and stuff like that. So we will make sure that we specify the city name into the antecedent intervention. Um, what else? What else?
Well, then we can start talking whole
Oh yeah,
because
I was like,
so this first paragraph looked really good. It had a lot of great information that kind of lets us get to know our population and the community that we are serving with our services.
It had really good, like, I'm glad that you guys put in exact statistics too.
Yeah, that all looked good.
um,
And then this was also helpful in identifying the individuals that are going to make up our direct care staff. So kind of seeing like what their education is and how much training will need to go into ensuring that they're able to implement the different activity schedules and things we're needing them to do.
Hmm. Yeah, it gave a lot of insight on like who we would need to hire. Like we would probably need to train a lot more than we thought we would. So that was good too.
so is that the same?
This was
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
this
talking
is
about the
important.
closest education center or other
Hmm.
service would be 37 minutes away. So this really highlights the need for us to be delivering services in this underserved community.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I think the pictures kind of made it was really tough for for the formatting, but I think you guys got it right, and Google Docs kind of messed it up.
Yeah, we'll try to figure out a way to,
Yeah.
yeah. And then,
So this
Um,
is kind of what we were discussing with the remote, and we're gonna have to figure out how like how we can incorporate both, but still keep it clinic. I mean, just based on majority vote of both groups, that we should just keep it what we decided in the first place.
mhm.
and then also just going into more detail about what remote offerings like would be, because we got to remember like our direct care staff as well as other people that are going to be like seeing this information or learning about this information might not necessarily know like what that is.
Mhm. Okay, so majority vote of what both groups think, and go into more detail about what remote would look like.
Hmm.
Okay, and then, okay, this one,
Um, I think we were just confused. Oh, are we at the second? The clients can acquire that one we're looking at?
I'm looking at the one that says, I do love this idea, but since we selected both clinic service, I'm not sure if we really
Oh,
can
that
to
one,
this.
yeah.
Okay, that's similar to the other one.
Yeah. Just trying to figure out what exactly will be remote.
Okay. Cool. That preview. And then unclear what this
Like
one.
I think for that one, just to add on, like, yeah, sure, maybe parent trainings can be remote, but are we going to provide sessions to clients remotely? That seems not possible.
Mhm. Mhm.
So maybe like just specifying like parent trainings will be remote, or like telehealth with their teachers or anything like that. Like that makes sense. For the next one,
Okay, this one.
um, the one before that. Yeah, the clients can acquire a multitude of skills. Um,
Lance, unclear what this is getting at as far as connecting the ideas together. I just can't play multiple skills and
I feel like what skills they're attaining, like are we using the activity schedules when it comes to like doing things in the kitchen,
Like,
laundry
yeah,
room?
transitions to the kitchen or transition to the, because I think this is more just saying like, oh, this is what the clinic would offer.
Maybe
Okay.
just connecting ideas within that paragraph.
Okay. Clear. Uh, I see. Because
Well, so we kind of do this in the clinic I'm in now. We have different rooms that are like mimicking kitchens and bathrooms and laundry rooms. So, if our kids were to use activity schedules for those rooms during parent trainings that may be remote, it'll help them generalize it into the home setting.
That's a
yeah,
good idea.
So I think that's kind of where we are going for, but yeah, we should probably get a little bit more specific about that.
I think just elaborating what you just said is perfect. Like that makes sense now why we're including that.
Yeah.
the next one, since we selected include access service, we would even include that as local. So this community, we would be dependent on a school budget. It could still impact our access to BCBAs to hire.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I think some of it we just keep mixing up into we get into the school mindset rather than clinic mindset.
Right.
But
So
we also have to think about, I don't know if we put that in there, but since the average salary is 25,000 a year, most of the people that would qualify for services are probably on some sort of insurance by the state, whether that's Medicaid or something that would help them pay for services. Otherwise, if they don't have that, they're probably not going to be able to pay for services.
Hmm
So yeah.
I think it's just also the fact that we're talking about the nearest ABA center, but us ourselves for our like mock clinic or whatever would be like within the city limits too.
Right.
right.
So I guess accessing like staff too.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Okay, so just clarify. Essentially, this paragraph just needs to be clarified and stick with the consistency that we are going to be the clinic that's closest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I think just all the school parts of it need to be like changed out to clinic.
Unless you're talking about like availability of staff, like if these staff are working like in the school, would we have staff ourselves to work like in clinic?
And I think that's where we get mixed up because sometimes you do have kids that are like part-time in clinic, part-time in school, and they'll have the
Right.
same RBT/para go with them. So I think that's kind of where my mind goes with some of the stuff, and that's why it gets kind of confusing between school and clinic because some kids are like making that slow transition.
Mhm.
Okay. And then that is grammar error. So capitalize the ABA.
And then I think there was one more comment on like the last little, how are we going to train staff?
Mm.
Oh, the video copy.
Oh, right there.
Okay, I see. Is it? Let's see. What you were saying.
Yeah. So, uh, so my mind goes to, I lived out in Kansas for a year where there were no, it was kind of like Macon, Mississippi, where there weren't any like BCBAs around, there weren't like these resources. So we did a lot of telehealth to
Mhm.
train. I agree that it's not as effective or as hopeful, but that's kind of where it went because they don't, the closest they have right now is the 57 minutes.
Mhm.
So getting more staff to them or training, you know what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say.
I do
But
get what you're saying, but I think I may be wrong about the question that they're asking, like how will we train our staff? I think they're saying since we are the BCBA,
Mhm.
like
uh-huh.
we would use, like we're trying to say we will use BST to train our staff because it's in our clinic.
Oh,
And like I think they're trying to say like, how are you going to train your staff in your clinic?
okay, yeah.
Think I
That,
could be wrong because I see it the way you're seeing it too. But I
yeah.
think that might be what they're looking for.
No, that makes a lot more sense. So
Okay.
we're gonna put in the specifics of how we are going to, yep,
Yeah,
okay, that
I
makes,
think that's just it.
yeah, that's a good point.
Okay. Be specifics. Okay. We'll change that. And then
I think that was it. Just
Yeah. I think it was great. Like, thankfully, we made all the additions. Hopefully, we got it right this time.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything was really insightful. The statistics were helpful. Like, it really shows what Macon really has and what we're dealing with.
Mhm.
agreed.
So, yeah, great job, guys.
Thank you. Thank you guys for the feedback and yeah, the comments. Um, especially because like you said, we were kind of very like inconsistent a little bit in the setting and what exactly we were trying to say.
Mhm.
But I think that is it. We will make these edits. We'll send it back to our group as well. As soon as this downloads to my computer,
Mhm.
I will send the recording to you guys.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Cool, thanks.
All right.